All right, let's get right into it. I am here on episode number 24 with my two good friends and clients, Pragi, and this is Rhonda. I'm going to let you introduce yourselves. Rhonda, why don't you tell everybody who you are?
Okay, my name is Rhonda, and I am a cosmetic makeup artist. My business is called Violet Rose Cosmetic Artistry. I serve the Houston area, Missouri City, so makeup, tattooing, tattoo removal. That's my specialties.
And we worked together several different times. You worked with me. I thought you came here when I had the home studio.
No, I haven't been here.
No, okay, so you have other location. And Rhonda and I met through a Facebook post, right?
Well, you messaged me on Facebook directly. I think I showed up in maybe a hashtag search for makeup artist.
You messaged I don't remember.
Yeah, you messaged me, and then we went to Starbucks and had a coffee.
And we are both very type A, which I love. She's a little bit better than me because I forget things.
I don't know about that.
But that's how we met, and we've been working together ever since. And this is my beautiful client, Pragi. Pragi, tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Okay. Hi, my name is Pragi. I am an aspiring realtor. I'm barely getting started.
She's a realtor, y'all.
I'm a realtor, yes. Just learning the trade, and I met Gayla at a model house.
Yep.
And it was the coolest thing. And I saw her working with a client, and I was like, I need to work with her. I need her to do pictures for me. And it's been a short amount of time that we've known each other, but
it feels like forever.
Yes, it's been very natural, and obviously thanks to Gayla, I've met Rhonda too, who did my makeup for the photo shoot that Gayla did, and I enjoyed working with both of them so much.
You're so easy to work with too.
Thank you.
The thing is, when we were at that model home, I was in the zone. Like, I am hype warming this client up. I'm really being her hype woman, and Pragi was just looking, and then I think she went in the bathroom the client went to do her hair or something. And we had a conversation. I gave you my card, and it just went from there. So that's just going to take me right into a few questions that I'm going to ask that we're going to be talking about. But before we talk about the session, we are discussing this project. So as you can see, we're wearing our T-shirts that say courage, because this is the beginning of Thriving Through It All, the Courageously Her portrait campaign. I am on a mission to get 100 women to do what you did, because I know it took courage for you to do it, because you were like, I don't know if I'm ready, I can't do it, I'm nervous, I've never had this done before. And I was like, girl, it's gonna be fun. You saw me in the house, it's just real chill, it's nothing super formal. And so the reason we're here today is to talk about your experience, talk about just being a woman and how you make people feel beautiful, and how I help people have confidence in everything. So let's dive into the self-worth and societal standards, right? So they all laugh because the standards they're just kind of all over the place. But hey, so in what ways do you believe that embracing your own worthiness has had a ripple effect in other aspects of your life? And this can be professionally or personally, or both. And I'll let you go first.
Okay, so I will say that we all have this energy about ourselves. So what has made me embrace me more is making mistakes and just doing things that are, even though it's not perfect, just doing what you need to do, what you think is best.
Right.
So making those mistakes, but also being able to own up to it and say, that wasn't my best work, or I didn't do that. And I feel that when you have that confidence in yourself and the willingness to say, okay, this is what I've learned from this, and moving forward, you build that confidence, right? You build confidence in making decisions. You build confidence in correcting those. And when you build confidence, people feel that. And that's really the most attractive quality, right?
They really do.
And I think that's what has helped me be empowered in who I am.
Just learning from your mistakes and saying, hey, I'm going to do better next time.
Yeah.
Or as many times as it takes for me to get it right. And a lot of times that in itself, it takes courage to have that attitude, that mindset.
And letting go, like forgiving yourself.
Forgiving yourself. Oh my gosh, that's a whole nother podcast topic.
But that's part of it.
That is part of it. We could talk about that in a whole nother, a whole nother set, a whole nother episode. But I guess I'll go next. So, there's been times where I did not feel worthy. Especially being a parent, you can feel like, am I being the best parent I can be? and people who, any of my listeners, you know that I have lost a son to cancer, and that really took my mindset to a dark place when it came to worthiness, self-value, wondering what my purpose is. What should I even be doing? Do I even want to be here? All of those things came to mind, but what actually helped me to know that I am worthy of something is having other family members who rely on you is one strong thing, especially as a parent. My son needs me,
Yes.
and he needs both of his parents, and my husband needs me, and I have to learn to love myself if I can spread the love to other people. And so I had to go into a really deep place and say, you know what? Start talking nice to yourself. I am worthy.
Yes.
I look pretty today. It's okay. Like, you can do those things. And part of the mental exercise that I do is I actually recorded an affirmation that I listen to every day. It's myself saying it. We all hear our voices, right?
Right.
But there's no excuse for me not to get it done because it's in my phone. I can put the headphones on and just do what I need to do and listen to that. And I have done that. So, and both personally and professionally, I'm able to connect with my clients when I know I'm worthy so that they know they're worthy.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm over here just like, oh, you look great. Would you really feel like, what is she doing? Like, do I look good? Do I look bad? Am I doing it right? And so for me to have that courage, it's going to be spreading to other people.
Absolutely.
So, all right, Pragi, what about you?
So I think for me, I think it's just first like being aware that you're not being kind to yourself, you know, because that took some time for me to get to because I've had my own set of trials and tribulations like everybody else.
As we all have.
Exactly, right? And so I kind of, again, was in a dark place where I was like, how did I end up here? And then it's like, how do you get yourself out of this, but also how do you not necessarily not get there again, but just learn about yourself. So it was a lot of self-acceptance and a lot of self-compassion and, you know, kind of things that you both are saying. It's like, well, I don't want to treat myself this way. I don't want to talk to myself this way. I want to give myself the same grace I would give to a friend.
Right.
You know, and just building courage from there to say, okay, this is where I'm at. This is what this is what I need to do. And this is how I want to feel about myself. I don't want to be in the trenches all the time. So it's just first recognizing that I'm there, and then second to say, okay, this is where I'm at, and let's just one step at a time. Let's just get out of this and have a goal in mind and work towards that, you know.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it's the same thing in like professional life and this and that, right? Because we all have things we want to get to and things that we want to achieve and feel good about ourselves doing those things.
Right.
But it takes a tremendous amount of internal
work
and an internal amount of compassion.
It does.
Yeah.
And what I heard you say is that you had to first recognize, hey, I'm not speaking well to myself. I'm being ugly to myself.
Exactly.
And to recognize that it's really profound when you do realize it.
Yes.
Because, you know, as women, our bodies change. And then what does that do? Your mindset starts to change because you're like, oh, well, you remember 20 years ago when I thought I was fat, but I really was so skinny. Now that I look at this photo, it's like, I want to go back to where I was 20 years ago.
Right.
But 20 years ago, you were trying to get skinnier.
Yes.
And so you have to take it, step back, look at the bigger picture and say, look, I'm going to accept who I am now. If there are some changes that I want to make, I can do that. But I have to be in acceptance of what is now.
Exactly.
Right. Perfect. Okay, so let's talk about the portrait session because you took some time.
I did.
She's I don't know if I'm going to do this. I'm kind of nervous. And tell me about what was going through your mind before you booked the session and what were you thinking about from the time we met to the time you pulled the trigger?
Whew, that's a lot of thoughts. So from when I first met, like I already knew that I wanted to do the photo session, right? Because from a business perspective, it's like, well, these are some of the things that people do, and this is what I need to do to kind of get my name out there, present my best self. But the internal conflict was like, well, are you there yet? Are you sure you've gotten
that
to
self-doubt.
where you needed to be to kind of do that for yourself? And so I think for me, it was just overcoming those little, things in my mind to say, look, let's just do this. This is an investment in myself. This is something that I know I eventually want to do. So what's the difference of doing something now versus 6 months? Obviously, everybody's situation is different, but just from that internal factor of like, you know, like if I don't do it, I'll never know.
Like the imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And
I'm not that yet, right?
Yeah, I'm not
but,
exactly.
But it's like I am who I am right now.
Yes.
And she said something to me. I'm gonna go ahead and get your box,
Okay.
so that you can see your portraits. Oh, Rhonda, could you pass
yes.
this since you're like right
yes.
there? So you guys, Pragi.
This one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's perfect. So she didn't know I was going to get her this.
No, I didn't.
But
That is so beautiful.
so you received all your digital images
I did.
and loved them, but there is something about existing in film.
Yeah.
Existing in the actual tangible item that you can go back and look at, because I always tell this story. I had a friend who had her wedding in early 2000s. She got nothing printed. She's like, oh, I'll print it later. And they gave her a CD.
Okay.
Yeah.
10 years later, she's like, okay, it's my 10-year anniversary. I want to print my photos. No one could print them.
Because
it's obsolete.
outdated. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
outdated.
It's obsolete,
Technology.
and technology is always changing. So I wanted to gift you this
That's
because you deserve to see yourself. And she said one thing to me.
Love this. I love
She
this.
said,
so pretty.
I remember you shed a tear and you said,
Yes.
that's who I want to be. And I said, that's who you are. It's not who you want to be. This
Yes,
is who
yes.
you are. So you can open the box.
Okay.
And I printed your favorites. They're all in there.
Oh my
You can
gosh.
pull the ribbon here and lift it up.
I'm still getting teary-eyed.
Yeah,
Yes, like this
as
is
you
so.
should embrace it.
Oh my god. Yeah,
And-
like to see myself in these kinds of
Yes.
poses, and like there's a feeling that I can't describe.
And that's beautiful.
Yeah. So and yes, like honestly, you really captured the essence of what I was feeling and who I was. Like even I showed it to my best friend, and she's like, she's
She
really
loved
done
it.
a good job capturing who you are. So
And that's what we want to do. I don't want
Yes.
to change who you are.
no,
It's
and
just-
insane, right? I think I'm finally going back to your first question. It's like I'm at this place where I don't want to change who I am.
No.
Right.
I want to be who I am. I want to be the best that I can be.
Absolutely.
So
So
they're so amazing.
I'm so
They're
glad
so
that you love them. I think that this is important. This can be on your wall. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
you just, there's nothing wrong with having a gallery wall of yourself.
I know.
I need to do that right in here, actually.
Yes, they're
So,
amazing. They're
yeah, I'm so happy you love them.
Yes,
and
I do.
I am
Can I give you a hug?
so
I'm
glad you're
yes,
here.
thank
Yes.
you, yes.
That is
And
amazing.
same thing with Rhonda, because I was like, I loved the makeup session, like I was telling you,
yeah.
like that was not something that I've done for myself, and just to give myself permission to say,
Permission.
do this for
Do it.
yourself.
Do it for
Take
yourself.
up
Yeah.
space, right?
Yeah.
It's okay
Yes.
for me to
It
take up
is.
this space.
And when I talked to you about her, I said, hey, her skin's different, but it's beautiful, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And
Thank
I
you.
told my husband, I said, I really want to photograph someone who has vitiligo. I said, I think they're very unique, they're very
Thank
beautiful. And you walked into that house, I swear, like a month later, I've been saying, I want to photograph someone that has that. I think it's so pretty. And we talked, you guys
Yeah.
talked about, do you want me to cover it? She said, no, just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
touch me up, make me look natural. And just on the cover of this, I absolutely love this.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
that's you. And
I
that's
love
what
how
makes
the
you
black
you.
and white, you can see all
Yes.
of it.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the type of artist I am, I wouldn't have felt comfortable covering
Covering
it
it.
either way.
Yeah.
I would have encouraged you not to
Right.
cover it. So like I
Yeah.
have people that come in and they have these beautiful freckles, or they have just these different things, and
And
I'm
they
like,
wanna
I
cover
don't, yeah, and like I don't want to cover your freckles.
Yeah.
Like
Because
I want,
that's you.
That's you. Yeah, it's beautiful, and like I enjoy getting to remind people their beauty. Like that's always
And
fun
that's
for
why
me.
her and I worked so well together. There's been other makeup artists that I've experienced, and they want to cover everything. And I said, hey, listen to the client. If they want that,
Right.
great. But
Yeah.
she's always going to have a conversation with any of you who book a session. She's going to
Yes.
say, hey, let's have a chat. Show me something that you're inspired by, and let's talk about it.
Yes.
So I do have a question for you. What can you think of a time within the session that you particularly felt really empowered and confident?
Like this exact
That picture right there?
That picture right there, because like first of all, that
You
outfit.
can see it in your face.
Yes,
you
because
can.
I came out in that outfit and I was like,
She was
I
like,
have-
bam,
Yeah.
CEO vibes.
Yes,
Showing
and
up,
I had seen just Pinterest like collecting different poses and stuff, and then you kind of took it to the next level as far as like listening and paying attention to how I'm feeling in my body language and what's gonna look the best
Exactly.
in that. And then like I wasn't expecting the black and white, but when we saw that
Beautiful.
on just the shots that she took, I was just like, I don't even care if everything else doesn't look great. Like I just got
She's
these.
like, I want those. They were
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting there, I was actually on the floor shooting her from a distance because there was an office that was facing the stairs. So I was in the office, I was on the floor, really wanting to get this shot because it just, her face and the expression in her face was like, this is it. I was getting chills like,
Yeah.
she's so confident right now. Like I have to get this. So what advice would you give to other women who may be hesitant about booking a portrait session for themselves?
You know, I think it's just do it is all I can
Okay.
say. I think it's because when you see the result, like you feel like you can put words and an image to your feeling. And I think that that's so important because going back to that self-awareness journey that everybody has, you know, it's like we don't always have the right words, the right visions, the right things. And when you see this, it's like, this is more than I expected. This is more than what I had in my mind. And so I think everybody should do it at least 4 or 5 times a year.
4 or 5 times a year. Every quarter, you guys, and then a bonus session.
Yes,
For
exactly.
sure. Well, I am so happy that you love your images.
I do.
I'm very proud of you for having the courage to book the session, even though I know you. You went home and you had 1,000 thoughts, and you probably made a pros and cons list. And you make the decision to put yourself first. And that's just what I want women to know is that it really takes courage to do that, especially if you are a wife or a spouse or a mom. You're putting everyone else before yourself. And it's like you got to stop that for some time, because the more you fill up yourself, the more you can project all that positive energy and love to your loved ones and your friends. And as I say, you can't pour from an empty cup. So thank you guys for coming on to this first episode that is being on video. It's going to be on YouTube. I'm excited. And you guys tune in every Friday. And until next week, stay courageous.
You did great. That was good.
Awesome.
Yay!
You have such a good speaking voice.